not here, you missing out. Cause this show.
Welcome to the We Love Wrestling spot. My name is Terry. I'm with Danielle from the Pretty Hills, and I'm with Nicole from Down for the Count. Today we are with somebody who, when I first saw her, she kind of scared me. She came out to a song, Tap or Snap. And when she got in the ring, she impressed me with her match that she did. She is a MMA artist. She is a wrestler. She will be appearing at the Generation Championship Pro Diamond Cup in an exhibition match. Her name is Persia Pierce. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Everybody else doing all right? All right. Well, I'm going to ask my first question that I always ask is, what started your love for wrestling, or why do you love wrestling?
Well, I knew nothing about it until I got into middle school. My gym coach actually introduced me. And then I fell in love since, and I was like, that's what I want to do when I get older. Like, I like to beat people up. I like the competitive sports. So, because I was already doing amateur wrestling at the time, and I did that for 3 years. So.
Oh, okay. So sixth grade, starting your amateur coach got you into wrestling. Did you have a favorite wrestler when you got started watching?
CM Punk.
Oh,
whoa. Yeah.
Left field. I'm with it though. Left field.
I'm about to see CM Punk like
Cookie Monster.
Cookie. So let me ask you, how long have you been wrestling? Because when I saw you, I was impressed, and I mean, you said you were an amateur wrestler. So how long have you been wrestling?
Yeah, I've been doing pro wrestling for 1 year and 8 months now. So February 16 will be 2 years.
Wow. 2 years. Wow. Who trained you?
At first, it was Tom Bass out of Sanford from Mid-Florida Wrestling. And eventually I went to Frank Reyes and Ricky Santana out of Largo. And now I'm with Kyle Blizzard out of Port Orange because it's closer to me.
Oh. Hey, I'm gonna throw it to the ladies, but I'm just saying, all your trainers, I can tell that you've been putting in good work, because I was highly impressed by what you're doing. Can't wait to see what else is coming for you. But I'm gonna throw it to Danielle now. I might drop out and let you three ladies just have a conversation.
So I want to ask, you've got a couple of levels to your talents, right? And your athleticism. You got the MMA backing, and then you have the wrestling, the professional wrestling backing. Do you have a favorite? I mean, I know that, eventually you kind of intertwine the two. There's some things you can do in one, some things you can do in the other, some things you can't, some things you can't. But like, do you lean more towards a preference, or are you kind of like, unbiased?
It's very hard. Like, there's different reasons why I love each sport. And right now I've been doing more of pro wrestling. But soon I'm trying to focus more on my MMA because I try to plan to fight sometime next year for my first amateur fight.
Wow. Exciting.
Oh, I am. Because that lady, she's going to, she's in for it. That's all I'm going to say. I don't talk that much, is my action's going to show it.
Wow, I love it. I love it. So you already know who your competitor is going to be for the upcoming fight?
Not amateur, no.
Oh, okay. So, and I guess kind of like my last question would be, we're fortunate that in this day and age, like we have a lot of other females who kind of are into, multi levels of wrestling. Is there anyone who you kind of look up to who has like the multifacets similar to what you have, or do you have a specific like female wrestler you look up to, or even is there any like male wrestlers that you like super pay homage to and you kind of semi-tailor your style after?
Oh yeah, like there's Brock Lesnar, Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey. They all do both pro wrestling and MMA, and like they're badasses too. So yep. I applaud to them because it's not easy, especially juggling both. Like that takes up all your time.
Definitely. And I guess my last question, sorry, Nicole,
You good?
would be, and this is kind of like, I guess, a tip that you can, if you're, willing to share, you can share with all of us. Being that we love wrestling, right? And we like, I'm just going to get rid of the elephant in the room. It is a male dominated sport, right? And it's usually when you say wrestling, people automatically think of males, right? How do you
Yeah.
keep your femininity, right? In being a professional wrestler or a amateur fighter? Like, how do you, sometimes you got to work out so much or stay in shape, but you also want to like do your nails or like go to the store and check out the new shades of lipstick. Like, how do you find the balance, and like what tips can you give to us who kind of have to
Well,
deal with the same thing to a certain
I
extent?
honestly don't do my nails, but like I
Me
do like
either.
to dress up. I like to buy makeup, wear makeup. Like I'm into fashion, so when people see me, they expect me to wear like gym clothes every day because I'm always
Hmm.
training. But I do like to dress up, like actually look like a girl, So, but like once I'm in the ring or in the octagon, like I'm full on like badass, like I'm ready to beat someone. So like having that two sides is like, whoa. Yes. No one expects it and it's great.
Yeah. So what tips can you share with us, like, for those who may not be able to have the balance or maybe wanting to like transition? Because honestly, like, I was a tomboy until I was about 23, and that was only because like I really wanted to get into dating, and I'm like, well, men don't want to date women who look like them. So like I had to like consult with like my closest girlfriends and like what is a good heel, to wear if you're going out on a date or stuff like that. Like, what are some tips you want to share with the community at large on just like keeping your femininity and like, holding the balance?
Well, just all I can say, be you. Like if you want to dress up, ask for tips, have your girlfriend help you out. Like especially if she's not into sports, so she can definitely help you. I'm not very helpful at this. I just started getting into fashion, so like if I'm not training and if I want to go out with friends, then I just dress up and I watch like a lot of videos or like shop. I'm a big Fashion Nova person. Like this shirt is called Fashion Nova. So
It's cute. I like it.
thank you.
So I'm gonna kick it over to Nicole.
Okay, so sort of to go back to your MMA, because obviously you might not have been wrestling as long as the women that are also participating in the cup. But I think with your amateur wrestling background and also with your MMA background, do you feel like even though you don't have a lot of in-ring experience on the wrestling that side, do you think that those two backgrounds put you far ahead of your competition because of that?
I feel like having another athletic background doesn't matter if it's like football or MMA. Like I also do powerlifting, so I have the strength to lift people. I may be small, and people are like, oh, she can't do no harm. But, they find out the hard way. But I feel like it's definitely an advantage.
Yes. So obviously, like when you're with different competitors, whether it be like something like a tournament or even just like a regular fight, so you feel like, okay, you might have been wrestling for 5, 10 years, but I'm a badass because I've been MMA training for all these years and doing professional wrestling, because I feel like some of our greatest pro wrestlers have amateur background. And you talked about how you really look up to Brock Lesnar, and then also you go back and think of Kurt Angle and all of the others like similar to that. So I think that's just so fascinating that you also have an amateur wrestling background.
Yeah. And like because I did weightlifting for like 2 years, been doing powerlifting 3 years, started doing MMA a little bit before pro wrestling, like jiu-jitsu, ground and pound, kickboxing. I'm starting to get into Muay Thai because I'm very interested in doing that also.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can use some of the moves into pro wrestling, and that's definitely an advantage against other pro wrestlers that only have a pro wrestling background.
So not only that,
I can judo throw people all day.
Love it. So not only that, because you talked a little bit about where you're training at, is there any other schools or any other places, either in the United States or outside the United States, that you would also like to train at to kind of like sharpen your sword a little bit more?
Well, nothing specific. Just go to every different wrestling school that I can find because they always teach something different, like not just movesets, but characters and all that. And like hopefully go to Japan. I feel like that's everyone's go-to place
Yes.
also. So
And I feel like, especially with your background, and especially like with the Joshis, and you think about like stardom and all that, and it's just so hard hitting. And I feel like that's something that you'd probably be able to adapt to a lot quicker than someone who's just coming through for wrestling. So just to move on for that, so who is your dream match, or who's your dream opponent? And this could be like man or woman.
And it could be any level of industry.
Yes.
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about that.
CM Punk, maybe?
Well, yeah, that. I definitely like facing dudes because, as far as like my background in MMA and amateur wrestling, like I'm so used to competing against guys. So, and like they move differently and like they're more aggressive, and I like that because they think, oh, they could take me down by me being more aggressive. But you know, it's all about the technique and the skills too. They do one little slip, you catch them. So. But Kurt Angle, definitely. Anyone with like a similar background, I feel like would work really well. There's this girl that's in the Indies, Janai Kai.
Okay.
The black belt girl. I would definitely be interested in facing her.
Yeah. Maybe if you beat her, you can go steal her black belt from her.
So we just want to give you a heads up. You said her name. Be careful. Sometimes we be surprised with who comes back and retweets our posting. So, just keep that in mind. I mean, not that, this is all in good fun. I'm not like,
Yeah.
But, don't be surprised if you wake up Sunday and there's an after daylight savings, you'll wake up and she's like, hey girl, when and where, pull up, like
anywhere, anytime.
I love it.
Nicole, not to like cut you off, but I just want to know a little bit more about you admiring CM Punk. I'm a fan, and he just catches so much heat. And I just want to know, can we know a little bit more about like where that comes from? Because I think it's definitely a familiar name that a lot of people, I think it's like so familiar that people even chant it and they don't even know why they're chanting it. You know what I'm saying? We have generations that are now like CM Punk, and you're like, oh, did you see him wrestle? And people are like, he's a wrestler. I'm like, why are you chanting it? So like, where did where did that come from? Like him being a favorite of yours? I just want to know a little bit more.
Well, because not only his style, but like how he does his promos, like he keeps it real. He doesn't care how he says it, what he says it. He says it, whatever's on his mind, and he ain't afraid of any response or anyone. So I admire that. And that's something to look up to.
I think that's awesome.
So I'm checking too if he's like speaking facts.
And so I want one last question before we kick it back to Terry. And you don't have to elaborate if you don't want to, but I think it's just so commendable, interesting that you're also a mother while you're going upon this journey as a wrestler and an MMA fighter, and just finding the balance. So how do you find the balance between doing both? Because both are all consuming things within your life, especially when you decide you want to take on and be a fighter. And then also being a parent is an all consuming thing within itself. So how do you find a balance between both of them?
Yeah, I'm going to go get a notepad. Go ahead.
Yeah, when it comes to training, I just bring her with me. Like, she enjoys watching, even though she tells me, I don't want to sweat. But, she's done soccer, so you know, she may get interested one day, want to do one of the classes, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But I just bring her everywhere with me.
Oh no, I'm
So
not doing it.
So it's also, so even though she might, so I think that's amazing that even though she might not be specifically interested within herself, but she loves just watching you perform, and I think that's important, like just as important or even more important, because
Yeah.
it's still creating the bond. So I think that's amazing. So I think Terry's creeping somewhere here in the background. So anything else you want to add, Terry?
oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Um, so at Generation Championship Wrestling GCW 14, you're in an exhibition match against Chelsea Durden. How do you feel about that match?
Well, I noticed that she's already talking crap online, talking about, oh, I'm so light, she's gonna like blow me away like I'm some like piece of paper. But she's never had a one-on-one match with me. So she's in for it because, you know, that as soon as that arm is free, it's gonna just snap right in half.
Twig life.
Oh, she's
Feel
so.
it.
So I got to ask. I seen you do this move. You did it on Sarah the Rebel at GCW 13. That was here, Indiana Invasion, and she was tapping, but you didn't let go. It's like you wanted to snap it.
Do it.
That's the point.
Oh.
You ain't supposed to walk away like feeling good because you lost. Like I'm gonna cause pain.
I like
She
that.
said they sell Bengay at Costco. That's what she said.
So, I mean, do you have any words for Miss Durden? Because she has been talking crap. I wasn't gonna say anything about it, but I mean, when I see you in the ring, I know you don't play around. So you said
Yeah,
you
she's
don't
just
talk.
gonna have to wait and see what's coming to her come November 13th. Because I can talk all day and she can talk all day, but words ain't gonna get anywhere. So once she steps in the ring with me, it's game over.
She said came over.
So I do have to ask this question. So you're not in the actual Diamond Cup, but will you have your eyes on that tournament to go after that title?
Well, whoever wins that title, I'm coming after it. Because I'm the most dominant female in any promotion that I enter and attend. So they better watch their back because I'm gonna prove to everyone why I'm Persia Pierce, the submission queen.
Submission queen. Ooh.
She said watch your back and your front. You didn't hear the front part.
Facts.
I heard all of it. I mean, when I saw it, I didn't know what to do. I mean, like I said, I was kind of scared. She was like, "Get out of here!" I was like, "Whoa, I'm just recording." I didn't do that. But let's have a fun moment right here. So at GCW 13, I don't know what happened. The event was over with. You were at the picnic table eating, and my little cousins were there, and they ran up to get autographs. And you autographed a forehead and an arm. Do you usually get fans that act like that when they see you?
Well, it's the first time me signing someone's forehead. So, you know, I felt blessed. But usually I get shirts or like, it's not the first time I had an arm. I had someone's shoe before. So.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I looked over. I was like, "What is going on?" He was like, "Yeah, she signed my forehead." I'm like, "Okay." Look. And he walked around for the rest of the day like that till about 10 o'clock.
Was it a Sharpie?
It was.
Well, they gave me a pin at first, and I had to go find a Sharpie because the pin was not working at all.
Oh, a pen?
Yeah.
Like an actual.
Yes,
Yikes.
I don't know
that.
they was wilding out. I mean, he walked around with that the rest of the day like it was like
Good
he
for
had
him.
$100. I was like, "All right, cuz."
I would do the same thing if I had my name on my forehead.
Look, she said lead by example.
Yes.
Correct. So I can't answer that one. So I asked this one. Jack Hager or Bobby Lashley?
Oh God.
It's random. It's a random question.
Say that again.
Jack
What?
Hager or Bobby Lashley?
I'm gonna go with Bobby.
Lashley.
They both got MMA backgrounds. I usually
Why?
ask Rock or Stone Cold.
But Terry, why you didn't say Brock
Yeah.
or Lashley?
I feel like there's that comparison makes a little bit
It's
more
better.
sense.
It's because they're a lot more similar than Jake and Bob.
Because Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar?
I'm gonna go Brock Lesnar.
Obviously, that's why I didn't say Brock Lesnar.
But I mean, but still, and then like with her saying that, now we can say why so much Brock? Because I really feel like
have you seen his MMA fights?
I've seen his MMA fights, but I mean, I feel like Bob. Well, we call him Lashley. Lashley's a lot more nimble, right? Because you said
we're not doing that thing. Yeah, it's not Bobby Lashley.
It's wrestling. We love wrestling. I wanted to talk about it.
Lashley at all.
No, we're not.
No matter what you try to say right here, it's
You
not
know what, Persia? We could talk later, okay? Because
okay,
I want to know more.
It's not Bobby Lashley though.
You brought her on. We want to spotlight her and talk about. I just want to know. You want to debate the same way I asked her about Phil. She answered the question about Phil. I just want to know a little bit more.
Ask her then. I mean, it's
Persia. We'll talk. No, we'll talk later because you already shut me down. I'm already sad. The tissues are over there. I'm about to get them.
Hey.
It's Brock. What are we talking about? I mean, I'm sorry. See, I get upset.
Don't be trying to hate. Don't be hating on Busy Brock because he be getting his check.
I mean, I'm not hating on Brock. I'm just saying, you say Brock Lesnar or Bobby Lashley. I mean, it's Brock Lesnar. Even though I like Lashley, it's Brock Lesnar.
Your opinion.
My Persia agreed with me. 2 Scorpio.
That's Persia.
All right, Nicole, who you got?
I'm not. No.
Should I plead the fifth? FIF.
All right, let's leave me out there. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that.
Oh, but I want to go back. I want to go back to you said you wanted to face Janai Kai.
She gonna steal her black belt.
I mean, I've seen Janai wrestle. She's in DC right now. Do you think your two styles would go together, MMA and how she's trained?
Yeah, because I do kick a lot too. I kick people's heads off.
Hey.
So we can do some kick exchange. I'm all for it. Kick each other's head off first.
Do we know what her black belt is in though?
Janai?
Karate, I believe.
Probably. And she has a black belt, probably in karate.
Yeah, that's what Janai does. Let's see. Because wait, wasn't she on a Generation Championship wrestling show before? She might have been. Yeah, she's a martial artist, the baddest black belt show out and bow out.
Oh.
She talking about it. We might have to make this match happen.
See, Persia?
Oh.
You laughing. I'm being dead serious right now.
Told you, Persia. That's why I told you, tread lightly.
She follows me. We got a couple pictures together. I'm gonna see what she say. I'm gonna let her hear your part, Persia. So we gonna see.
You never know. Phil may show up.
Phil.
Phil may make an attendance. Don't do it if you do it in Chicago. God forbid.
Oh goodness. Oh. Before Nicole, yeah, do y'all got? I'm gonna end it right there because you talking about Phil and everything. Happy belated birthday to Phil. Me and him share the same birthday, so
Oh, happy birthday, see ya.
Shout out to CM
Cookie
Punk.
Monster.
Ladies, before we go into our ending, do you have any final questions, any final words?
I just want to say thank you, Persia, for taking the time out to chat with us. We try to have fun on these spotlights. and shine a different light on the individuals who have their upcoming matches. And we would love to have you back after, you know, some of your events have happened this year. When was your amateur fight?
It's gonna be sometime next year. I don't have
Okay.
a specific date yet.
Okay. So maybe can we bring you back on and maybe spotlight you before your amateur fight? Because
Of
we love
course.
wrestling, so we want to talk about, you know, a little everything. So we would love to have you back on, but thank you for your time this evening. We
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much for having me.
Yeah. Just to pair it a little bit off of Danielle, again, thank you so much for coming on here. And I just love talking about people who can actually like really beat someone up in real life, because that just makes me respect them. So you have my respect because you can actually whoop someone's ass in real life too, not
Thank
just
you.
in the ring.
We want to keep
And
you as a friend, not as an enemy.
right. And
It's
as
all
a-
good.
and then I also like to support and rep my fellow Scorpios. So again,
Yes.
gotta love it. But again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us this evening.
No problem.
Before we do our final part, I don't know if did you just win, or was it a joke like a mini title or championship or something?
Oh, it's a joke.
Oh, okay.
Because they can fit around my waist. So
I was
What
on
was it?
Instagram.
What was the title though?
I was on Instagram and it was like a mini championship, I guess. But I thought it was like real, like a.
it was a mini belt that we're auctioning off to the kids.
Oh.
So before they auction it off, you know, someone had me try it on. They're like, "Oh, it fits Persia."
Aw.
And I saw it. I was like, "This can't be real." So I saw the laughing emoji, and I was like, "Okay, it's a joke. I hope it's a joke, but I have to ask about it."
That's dope.
Our final segment that we do is called the "Put Yourself Over" moment. That's where you give out your social media and your if you have a store, a site where they can get your merch, anything else that you're promoting that the people can find, any upcoming dates that you have.
Well, I'm working on getting a design so I can sell merch, but I have Facebook, Instagram, Persia Pierce, Twitter, which is by Crazy Chelsea.
That is her. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
She followed me, and I was like, "Is this or a fake account?" But Crazy Kelsey, yes.
Yeah.
Follow all her social media. She's getting a t-shirt, a design, a logo. So her t-shirts, when you get that logo design, let us know so we can buy one and support you.
Of course.
And she will be at the Generation Championship Wrestling, the Diamond Cup, in an exhibition with Chelsea Durden on November 13th in Tampa. Tickets are available. You can go to generationchampionshipwrestling.com, or you can watch on the Title Match Network. Anyone who signs up gets 2 free weeks. Hey. But let's close out. I just like to have fun. Don't leave yet, Ms. Pierce. My name is Terry. We love wrestling. I got Danielle with me from the Pretty Hills. I got Nicole from Down for the Count. Thank you, Ms. Pierce, for coming through. And like I always say, if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too sweet for the culture.